everyone, D here, and welcome to our Spring 2018 preview. Got a great lineup of shows for this spring. Not quite as busy as our fall season was, a little bit lighter. Very similar actually to last spring's with a little switch in here. Primarily what we are missing that we saw last spring is American Gods. A breakout first season last spring, really was expecting it to return this year. However, Bryan Fuller and Michael Green, the showrunners of the show, left at the end of November. There were a couple of scripts that were written, but not the whole thing, and they have been in sort of a run to see who they're going to replace it with. Originally, Neil Gaiman was being asked if he was going to step in as showrunner, but he's finishing up another show, and he really wanted to just go back to writing. So really up in the air. Last month, things started getting weird. We hear that Bryan and Fuller may not be entirely gone. They're not show running, but they still might have something to do with the show. Neil Gaiman might actually step in and show run this season, but he's not going to do it alone. He's going to need someone to co-show run with him. So a lot of things kind of up in the air. Also, Kristen Chenoweth, of course, who played Easter, she was set to come back. She was pre-written in those couple of episodes that were already written by Fuller and Green. But with the showrunner changes, they don't know if she's going to stay in. Not a major character in the show, in the book. So she's kind of up in the air. Who we will be missing is Gillian Anderson, who played Media. She is not coming back for season 2, which is a big shame. Her ability to play Lucille Ball, Marilyn Monroe, David Bowie was all astounding for her to fit in this role. She's really going to be missed. But since it's February, we still don't even know if we have any showrunners left. They haven't even written all the scripts yet. We can pretty much guess that we're not going to see this at least until the fall, if not next year entirely. Alright, well, let's kick off our returning shows with The Walking Dead, which returns to the second half of Season 8 on February 25th, going into the Last Stand storyline, and of course kicking things off with the apparent death of Carl Grimes. Probably followed up with a total murder spree from Rick, if I'm going to suspect things right. Now, I have to say, my feelings have really been shifting a lot over Chandler Riggs' departure from the series. Finding out, I thought that he was leaving of his own volition. When I found out, pretty much after the final episode review, that he was fired a couple weeks before his 18th birthday, just after he bought a house, really not sure how I'm feeling about this. I mean, this is a big change from the comic storyline. It's supposed to have a huge... Carl's death's supposed to have huge ramifications going forward for the show. Of course it will. How exactly that's going to play out, I am kind of curious. Now, I don't know if it's because of the fallout for this and maybe some of the other deaths, but showrunner Scott Gimple is no longer showrunner, or starting next season he won't be. He's actually being moved up to Chief Content Officer for the Walking Dead universe. So he's looking over Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and any other spin-offs or properties that may come out of that. Writer and executive producer Angela Kang will be stepping into the showrunner role for Season 9. So there should be some shifts of things going forward. Now the other bit of news, and I'm not sure again if this is related to the whole Chandler Riggs thing, but Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, has been making the pilot circuit this spring. Signed up for a lot of pilots, attached to a lot of things. Now her contract is technically up this year. She is done with her contract, waiting for a renewal. So if she is looking at leaving the show, maybe seeing that her future is a little uncertain and wants to leave on her own terms, or she's using this for contract negotiations to kind of get better pay. It is well known that Andrew Lincoln and Norman Reedus get paid a lot more than anyone else. They are in more scenes than anyone else. But between the pay disparities we have between male and female cast members, this may be Lauren holding out for possibly a better deal, or looking to leave on her own accord. So, but we've got a lot more episodes coming up, 8 more in the back half of the season. Got to sort of see how everything plays out. And then Friday, March 2nd, we have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back for their second half of the season. They are now back to the present and having to deal with hopefully stopping the world from ending. Now on top of that, they still have to deal out with the whole General Hale killing and LMD Daisy killing General Talbot and all of the sort of fallout from last season that they haven't dealt with. So it's going to be a pretty crazy return, and then of course we have the poisoning of Phil Coulson and his potential death that are not happening. So a lot of things going on. Now the one thing is Infinity War comes out on the 4th, which is a Friday. I'm guessing that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be off that week, and then we'll finish things up. But that pretty much gives them, from my count, 3 episodes left after Infinity War to do whatever tie-in they're going to do with, hopefully will be something. It'd be really nice if the events of the film actually do impact what is going on with the storyline and maybe alter things for the better. But it has been an amazing season, really the best Marvel show on television by ratings, and just amazing. So if you haven't been watching it, you should really dive in and check this show out. It is a Marvel adventure every week, and I cannot wait for Fridays when it's showing. Now, one of the shows I'm looking forward to the most this spring, I have to say, is the return of Legion. Season 2 begins on Tuesday, April 3rd. A little bit of a shift, was on Wednesdays last spring, now it's on Tuesdays. They've also increased the order, the episode order was 8 last year, they've moved it up to 10. So really, this has been an amazing show. Noah Hawley crafted an incredible season last year. I think it was a perfect season, all 8 episodes. Not a dud among them. Dan Stevens as David Haller was amazing. Aubrey Plaza, breakthrough. Man, she owned every scene that she was in. But we've got a whole rest of the cast coming back, including, of course, Jermaine Clement, who was just amazing. Really looking forward to seeing this. Now, last year, it was described as an insane man in a sane world. This season, David is more of the sane man in an insane world. So we got a little bit of a change. Also, this is time jumping a year. So kind of in a real life, this is starting to take place a year after last episode and last season ended. The other really big change that's happening is Bryan Singer, who was executive producer, no longer executive producer. Bit of that fallout from the sexual harassment allegations for him, so he is no longer listed. I think that is a great move for the show, just to try and keep things nice and clean, focus on the incredible storytelling that they're doing. So really, mind-bending show, cannot wait for it to come back. Then on April 15th, we have Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. Now I have to say, this was the show that I was really kind of on the ropes about the most. I think they've really gone downhill the past few seasons. I really didn't like Season 3. I thought it was a lot of wagon training, not a whole lot of great story development. They have changed up. They've got a new showrunner. They are time jumping forward to run concurrent with The Walking Dead. And in fact, other big changes going on. We have Lenny James, who of course plays Morgan on The Walking Dead, will be going from Walking Dead over to Fear the Walking Dead, kind of lend a little bit of his power, character power, into the show. And then we also have Jenna Elfman joining the cast, and Garrett Dillahunt, who of course we just saw as Dr. Campbell on The Gifted, will be joining the show. So we're time jumping forward to run concurrent with now. Again, this is one of those things that can work. In some ways, this might be a great move for them to kind of get everything running at the same time. On the other hand, because they're time jumping, I don't know, you really got to have some great character development. These have to be different people than what we saw last season for this 2 years jumping forward. I am also hoping that with that time jump, we don't do the Arrow flashback sequences where we have stuff that's happening now and then flashing back to periods that have happened over the past couple of years. That seems like that would be a bit of a crutch for the show. I don't know. Again, with all the changes, I'm a little bit more excited about seeing it, but I'm also not going to guarantee necessarily that I'm going to go through the whole season. Really, I have to sort of wait and see how this pans out. And lastly, on Sunday, April 22nd, we have the return of Westworld Season 2. Oh, so excited! This was an amazing show. We've been waiting almost 2 years for it to come back. Just highly anticipated. The first season was amazing. Really dived into really heady subjects, whole questions of identity and what makes us who we are, and it was just really exciting, really incredibly well done. Now the first season we could call The Maze. That was the study for the hosts going and discovering their own identity and their self-determination. We could call season 2 Journey into Night. That was the name of Ford's last narrative, which of course started off with him being killed by Evan Rachel Wood and the rest of the hosts going into a big massacre against the rest of the humans gathered together. So that's where we're going to be starting things off. We should be getting to see more parks. We got a glimpse into Shogun World, Samurai World. I think it's being called S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not sure what it's which of those that is referring to. We got that little glimpse last year, but it's interesting. There was actually a website that popped out just recently called DelosDestinations.com. And that seems to be the website for the parks themselves. And we let us know that there are actually 6 parks in total. Some of them aren't open yet. We don't really know any more information, but that's hopefully something we're going to learn a little bit more this season. So up to 6 other parks. We've got, of course, Westworld, which is the one that's open. We've got the Japanese World, Shogun World, or Samurai World. We may have, our showrunners, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, did give a little hint that we could be seeing some of the other worlds that we saw back in the original film, the Roman world and the medieval world. I guess we could potentially have future worlds since that was the sequel. So an idea of some of these parks, these may be sort of spelled out as the seasons go forward, but still, just really excited to dive back into this world. Also, just have to say, Tandy Newton was amazing. I think she was totally robbed not getting an Emmy last year because her performance in Westworld was just astounding. And she is the one that, honestly, I cannot wait to see again. Alright, so that is our spring program. Looking forward for this summer, we will of course be covering Preacher Season 3. Should be coming out in June. Don't have a definitive date for that yet. As for any other summer shows, just gonna have to kind of wait and see what else is coming out this summer. A lot of programs are shifting around, so just have to see how dates play out. But if you guys have any requests for this summer, please go ahead, throw those down in the comments. I will see what I can cover. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw up some links to our previous reviews so you can check all those out before the spring season starts. And of course, subscribe button so you won't miss any of those. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully I will see you guys in the coming weeks. I'm Dee, and I'm out of here. Catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.